BS with Brian Simpson. We're back. We ended off with the last episode. We wanted to go see a movie. We both saw Project Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
fantastic, fantastic,
amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to like it. I'm not a big fan of Gosling.
Yeah,
the old Goss.
Really, you're not a Gosling fan?
No.
From the beginning, or
I'm not anti-Gosling, but he just irritates me. He irritated me whenever they did that. I forget what that last movie was when they basically told people it was okay to be on their phone in the theater. Him and the director, like part of the press for that movie, they were like, "Yeah, be on your phone." Yeah. Like, what?
Was that the one where he played the stuntman? That one, or
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Okay.
I was like, "Fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck this movie. Don't tell people they can be on it." What do you mean? Yeah, but and I will say, so I went to Alamo Drafthouse, which used to be the greatest movie theater, at least the greatest chain one. Man, they fell off hard. I think they got bought by somebody.
They're going downhill. That's where I saw it too.
Brother, I used to, like and this wasn't that long ago. It was like 10 years ago, it was fantastic. About 4 or 5 years ago, it was still really good. Now, I'm like, bro, these motherfuckers, first of all, I hadn't gone, because I used my membership. I had a membership with the Alamo, right? Mm-hmm. Well, let's go. First of all, let's talk about the movie. Mm-hmm. The movie was great.
Amazing.
The movie was fantastic, and like I did not want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just good because here's the other thing. I've seen a bunch of movies use all of those tropes, but this is what I will say about it is like it used all the tropes perfectly.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel contrived. It was just a real good movie. Like you said, at the end, you felt good. And I don't usually like feel-good movies.
No,
but this movie, at the end, you're like, oh, that was great. That was satisfying. You know, they gave you just enough, and none of this cliffhanger bullshit. Like, they left you with just all good feelings towards the end, and a little suspense, and good science, and the story made sense for the most part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they managed to squeeze in the cute creature, which is you kind of. This is like this is what kills a lot of sci-fi movies. Is like, I don't know if it's like Hollywood wisdom or whatever, but you got to have a cute creature so you can sell toys.
Right? Yeah, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's everything. They got to put in a cute creature, and they managed to do that with this. And the creature isn't even that cute.
No,
but they managed to make it adorable somehow. Yeah. Now listen, were there logical questions that I felt like kind of you had to kind of let it be to enjoy? Yes, but there's a very specific kind of person, which is what I am, that needs things to all make sense. And that usually would ruin a movie like this for me, but it did not. That's how good the movie was. You know, the story was so good that even usually I would see something that didn't add up and it would ruin the rest of the movie for me. I wouldn't enjoy. I would be just sitting there waiting for the movie to end. But the characters were so good. Gosling was so good as the main character. He was so likable. I forget who the Russian lady was or the European lady. But the casting in this movie was spot on.
It was amazing. The guy who I don't remember his name. Did you watch The Bear? He's the black guy who played like this Secret Service kind of dude. Yeah. He was so good in that movie.
Yeah. They were. Everyone was great. Everyone was great. The casting in the movie was great. The acting was great. The character development was great. And the pacing was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it was like every time a familiar trope popped up, and I thought, here we go. Like it was like they gave me. They always stopped right before I was sick of it. Mm-hmm. Like they gave you just enough to be like, come on, let's keep going. And it was good. I highly recommend. That's one of those movies you can highly recommend it.
It kind of has something for everybody.
Yeah. It's family friendly, all that. It was good. It was a great movie. It might be, it might be the best film I've seen this year so far, in the last like 12 months. I was not a fan of Marty Supreme. I didn't get with all of the big, because people like you, that was the last movie that people were like, you gotta go see it. I was like, really? Now I have not seen
One Battle.
I have not seen One Battle.
One Battle is very good.
Okay, I have not seen that yet.
Very
so
good.
The last two movies that I was told you gotta see was Marty Supreme and One Battle, and they came out around the same times. And I saw Marty Supreme first. Actually, One Battle was probably out first. And I was like, what the fuck? This is the consensus. Like, whenever people start raving, you gotta pay attention to where those raves are coming from, because a lot of times it'd be industry raving. It'd be like, because some of you people that are outside the business, y'all don't know this, but there's a lot of there are a lot of publications that are part of the machine that are like industry publications. You know what I'm saying? And that's where everything always happens first. Like, I don't know what you call them, like the Hollywood Reporter and these sorts of things. It's like those things, you know, they're there to inform. They're basically publications for the industry so that everyone knows what's going on. But they'll also, but the algorithm doesn't differentiate. So you'll still see an article that goes, people are raving about Marty Supreme. And you're like, really? And, yeah, and so anyway, another thing that happens is, I think when it comes to certain movies, you know, every so often there's a movie that kind of pops up, and in certain circles you have to pretend like you love it. If you want to seem, you know, artsy or intellectual, you have to pretend like you love certain movies that aren't good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think, and here's the thing, Marty Supreme was not a bad movie. I'm not saying that. But it was not, first of all, it wasn't Chalamet's best performance, and it wasn't a great story. You know, it wasn't a great anything. I didn't think it was great at all. Maybe there were a couple of great, no, not really. I could have totally went the rest of my life without having seen that movie. It wasn't, I don't highly recommend it or anything like that. Like, you don't get me wrong. Like, if I walked in and it was on, I would leave. I would be like, I'd rather be watching something else. I never need to see it again. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Project Runway, Project Hail Mary, you know, I would sit and watch that with anybody that hasn't seen it. I'd be like, oh, dude, you gotta watch, yeah. Marty Supreme, I think this was overrated. And then there's movies that are severely underrated and I don't get. Did you ever see, like, I remember, I used to be really into this really smart girl. And she would always, you know, show me these like indie films that I just would have never heard of or whatever. And there was this movie called the fucking, what was it called? The Assist? No. It had the main woman from Peep Show in it. She was playing the queen. It was called like The Aspirant. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but I'm on it.
God, why can't I remember the name of this movie?
Olivia Colman?
Yes.
Okay, so she played, so she was in Peep Show. The Favorite.
Bruh, The Favorite go hard, bruh. Like, that's one of them jokes where I'm like, yo, why did that win any awards or whatever? Fuck the awards. The awards are trash, bro. Because The Favorite was one of them joints where it's like, why isn't everybody talking about this movie? So, and I don't even think it's an indie movie for real, but it's one of them movies where I don't know why some movies just don't get the marketing or the push, or I don't know why some shit pop and some shit don't.
I've never even heard of this.
Bro, that shit's great.
It's going on the letterbox.
Yeah, The Favorite's great, bro. That ain't a date movie. That ain't a family movie. No. It's not a family movie at all. But it's one of those movies that's, it's hard for me to even say what it's about. It's about intrigue. It's about power. It's
listed as a comedy thriller.
I mean, thriller? Yeah. I mean, I can say that. I mean, it's definitely layered. It's deep. It's not for stupid people. Like, let me rephrase that. It's not one of the movies where you could just turn your brain off. You got to be locked in. You know what I mean? Because I make that distinction because that's the same way I game. I have some games that I don't know how much what the hardcore gamers are out there, but there's 2 or 3 games in my rotation that are just there So I don't have to think about nothing. I just got to, you just move around, or some even got auto battling games where you just make choices, but the game plays itself. You know what I'm talking about? And I feel like there's some movies and TV shows like that. It was like I watch this when I don't want to think. Like my mind is tired, but I want to be entertained, so I'm watching it. Some movies are like that. Like a Dude, Where's My Car or something like that.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. Yeah. Movies where you don't really, the story doesn't matter. And those kind of movies can still have a great story, but you understand what I'm saying. But then you got movies like L.A. Confidential and
great flick.
Yeah, and shit like that was like, you have to pay attention though. Like, because it's one of those movies like, if you miss a certain detail, the big reveal or whatever, it's not gonna hit. So some movies you gotta lock in, and it's hard to tell whether you're watching one of those kind of movies. But some movies, like sometimes I'll start watching the movie on like late on a Thursday night before I go to bed. I might start watching the movie, and then I'll go, nah, this is a Sunday morning, Saturday afternoon kind of movie where it's like where I don't got shit to do, and I'm locked all the way in, and I'm all the way awake. Some movies are like that. The Favorite's one of those movies where it's like you need to be watching the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's not the sort of movie I would watch with someone that don't watch movies. Mm-hmm. Bro. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. 90% of the time, I'm going to the movies by myself. The movie is not a date night to me.
I love a good movie by yourself.
Yeah. I'm not taking a first date to a movie or a second date. No, that's to me, that's sacred. Like the movies mean a lot to me. So I'm not taking you because I can't. I'm not gonna risk hating you off the jump, because most people don't know how to watch movies. And some people, there's not a right and wrong way, but it's about finding your people. Anyway, saying all that to say this, Alamo Drafthouse used to be the best place to go watch a movie. I loved how if you were in that little VIP and you had to be on time. First of all, they would lock the doors. Certain showings at Alamo, if you weren't on time, you couldn't get in. Oh, I love that. Right? You order from now they made it so like you order from an app. So
Yep.
now
You have to be on your phone.
So now you have to be on your phone. And what's weird is, so I went by myself. I went to the 10 p.m. because I like to go where it's going to be the least amount of people.
Right.
And the last two times I went, this has nothing to do with them for real, but the last two times I went, it's been somebody on one side of me that was sick. You know what I'm saying? So my dumb ass, I bought 2 seats just in case. And I sit down and the motherfucker on my left start get to sniffling. So I move to the joint on my right. And then this nigga get to sniffling. And I go, okay. So I'm gonna move. You know what I'm saying? But I'm waiting for my food that I already ordered. And an hour goes by. And I push the button. And keep in mind, I ordered a meal, they brought me the drink, and then the food never came. So I push the button. The lady comes. I go 2 things. I go, first of all, can I move? So it was a seat right in front of me. The whole row was empty because I was at the row like right before nobody wants to sit right there. You know what I mean? So I was like, can I move right there? She was like, yeah. I was like, also my foods never came. She was like, okay, boom, bet. So I move. And then like another 20 minutes go by and I push the button again. A different person comes and I go, excuse me, yeah, I ordered my food like over an hour ago and I haven't got my food. And she leaves, she comes back and it's a different person. And they go, well, let me see your app. Are you sure I was like, I'm sure. So I go to show them my app and for whatever reason, it's just extra zoomed in. So I can't show her whatever information she's trying to see. We finally all get that kind of sort of get that worked out, and then another person comes and they go, well, we're trying to figure out like why you're sitting right here. And I'm like, because I asked if I could move. right, like, because that dude back there is sick. She's like, oh, okay. Don't worry, we'll get it all second out. Then she disappears. Another, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes go by. And I'm sitting there like, still ain't brought my motherfucking food. I turn around, somebody's bringing my food to my other chair, to the one behind me.
God.
Yeah, sitting right beside this sick motherfucker. And listen, and again, that ain't even, that sort of thing can happen. You know what I'm saying? Lack of communication, they probably understaffed, somebody probably serving, the same servers doing 5 or 6 theaters. I'm not mad at the servers or anything like that, but it's just stuff like that didn't used to happen at the Drafthouse. That's what I'm trying to say. It used to be locked in. Now the last time, and this was so funny, and this going to treat you how you get different treatments. The last time I went, I ain't gonna say who because I don't know if they want their business on the street, but a generous comic rented out the Drafthouse so we could all watch our own screening of Kill Bill.
Oh, nice.
We watched it all, the whole bloody affair.
Let's go.
Because we all missed it because everybody busy. We all wanted to see it when they re-released the whole bloody affair. So we all got to go. Everybody that's around the mothership, we all went to the fucking joint and watched Kill Bill. Oh, it was so great. It was so great. And this was maybe, I don't want to say 3-4 months ago. And it was back like old times. The service was excellent. And keep in mind, this is a theater, all one big group of people. Not really assigned seats or nothing. And I don't know. Well, you would expect there to be hiccups and snafus and all that. Nope. Everything was locked in. It just felt like the old Alamo. And I was like you get your. I guess a big knock to me on certain places is like if I go somewhere with someone important and I get treated differently than I get treated significantly differently than if I go by myself. To me, that's the big red flag. And I would love to say, oh, this was just a bad night. But it wasn't. This has been like this the last few times I've gone to Alamo. It's always been like, I don't know. It just feels lesser. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't feel it. Because the first time, when I first moved in and I got to go to Alamo all the time, I was like, man, this is fucking great. And that shit's gone. Now it doesn't feel just like, because that's the other thing. AMC and all the motherfuckers are so bad that Alamo's still better. But Alamo's not amazing anymore.
Yeah, so I just found out that Sony recently bought Alamo Drafthouse in 2024, and they have been the ones that have slowly been implementing the
bullshit.
Yeah, or bringing online ordering. And I think the Austin area, from what I'm reading, is kind of one of the last ones that they're making that transition to.
Please go back.
Yeah, go back.
Why? What? Who was asking for this?
The people who own it, the owners of Sony.
It doesn't make any sense. Now, I can understand online ordering before you get there. Because, that's what like some of the other theaters do that. Like you order before you get there and then they bring it to your seat when you get there.
Right.
But in the movie, it worked fine the way it worked before. What's
even crazy too is the first time that I noticed it was like last month is whenever they made the change, at least locally, a month or two ago. We went to go see Wuthering Heights, which already kind of sucked. So then the whole new shifting to online ordering made it suck even worse. But it's not only just that. It seems like, just their overall customer service is
terrible,
garbage now.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's almost like they hired somebody from like Frontier Airlines to run their movie theater empire or something. It's like, because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's shifting to, like I wouldn't be shocked, y'all, if the seats start getting smaller.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked at all if the seats start getting smaller. If they only recline this much, just so they could squeeze an extra 5 seats in that motherfucker, I would not be shocked, y'all, because that's the direction it feels like it's moving in. up there at the Alamo, bro. And I love that. This is me. I love the Alamo. And you know, I'm not trying to hurt their business. I mean, my podcast isn't big enough to have any sort of effect on, you know, because I mean, there's a small percentage of people that even give a fuck what I think about it. There's a even smaller percentage of people that live near an Alamo Drafthouse, you know. So, you know, but I'm just sharing my 2 cents.
It's coming from a place of love.
Well, I mean, this is actually indicative of a larger trend in America nowadays. Is, you know, people around my age, people, you know, 35 plus, you know, we're reaching that point where we're starting to see all the great shit crumble, you know? And I imagine it's happened to every generation before us. Everything great falls apart eventually. But I think what's different about now is that it's not being replaced with anything great. You know, like these kids now, y'all don't got nothing great. Y'all accept, you know, because this is what kills me, man. You could have the most legitimate, most justified, most righteous complaint about a company online. And no matter what it is, there'll be droves of motherfuckers in the comments defending that corporation. They could literally have killed someone, poisoned someone, and it'll still be people in the comments going, well, you know, they got to make money, you know, right? It'll still be people. I saw somebody tweeted the other day about how the pay for opening and feature comics hasn't gone up in decades. And it's literal comedians that were those people defending it. Like, well, the clubs aren't really making that much money. What are you talking about, brother? You know, we always do this, you know, because now that I'm a headliner, and don't get me wrong, it's like it was a long time of not being a headliner, and it sucks. It sucks. But being an opening and a feature, it ain't what it used to be. You used to at least be able to survive off the money. Now, if you ain't selling merch, and some people don't let you sell merch. So now it's like, if you ain't selling merch, you barely breaking even. And it's literally the same pay it was 30 years ago. Like it's the same number. And not the same, so it's less money than it was 30 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? And the truth is, there was actually a time where it was more money. So like somehow, and we always hear this, I always hear this bullshit about how clubs are struggling. It's like, yo, everybody's struggling. But the truth of the matter is, the business model of comedy is a bit flawed in that regard because comedians are not employees. They're the easiest people to fuck over in the equation. It's the easiest place to subtract from legally. Like they're the people that you can legally pay less if you need to or want to. You know what I'm saying? And so at every club, at every level, in every scenario, when someone needs to get fucked and somebody need to get less money, it's gonna always be the comedians. You know what I'm saying? And the only ones that, you know, I mean, that's just the way that it's set up. And we had the chance to unionize a long time ago and we failed. So it's really on us or on them, really. But I just use that as an example. There'll always be somebody that defend a company no matter how shitty the behavior is. You know, but again, I don't have to go to the movies and I don't have to go to Alamo. But I would like for Alamo to be decent, and that's gone. Sony is not, you know, Sony. Keep in mind, this is the same company that got hacked. I don't know if y'all remember this. Maybe this was over 10 years ago. Sony got hacked. Everyone that was signed up for the PlayStation Network, all their information and shit got leaked. And as a sorry, Sony gave everybody like 2 straight to DVD movies or something like that. It was something crazy. It's like it was like something nobody wanted. Let me
2000 experienced several major cybersecurity breaches. Most notably 2011 PlayStation Network and 2014 Sony Pictures Entertainment. These hacks involved multiple data theft, including personal user information, employee emails, and unreleased films. The 2014 attack was linked to North Korea over the film The Interview, causing several business disruptions. Blah blah blah. We remember.
Yeah. Well, the movie one was different because I remember that was when it was revealed that the executives were like talking shit about Kevin Hart because he wouldn't promote the movie for free. I just thought that was so badass. He was like, "No, you don't pay me to promote." No, but I'm talking about the PlayStation Network hack in 2011. So they gave people free games, but I remember being upset about which game it was. Okay, here it is. Sony offers digital rewards to victims. A free PS3 theme and a downloadable code for one of the following PS3 games. So now keep in mind, okay, this is 2012 or 2011, but see if any of these games jump out to you. Dead Nation, Infamous, Little Big Planet, Super Stardust, Rain, Puppeteer, Invisimals, God of War, that's one good one, Siphon Filter, not bad, Little Big Planet for the PSP. Oh, so those are all the PS3 games. No, PSP game. No, Siphon Filter's PSP. So it's PSP. Okay. Dead Nation, Infamous, Little Big Planet, Super Stardust, Rain, Puppeteer, Invisimals, God of War, HD, which I think was a remake of the original God of War. So those are all PS3. And then for the PSP, Siphon Filter, Little Big Planet, Mod Nation, Patapon 3, and Wipeout Pure, all PSP. Now keep in mind, you got to get one of those for free for them losing your personal, like from your identity being stolen because you signed up for them. You got to get one of those. Give them all of those. What are you talking about? You're giving away bullshit games.
I just realized I could have gotten 2 free games.
Yeah. But keep in mind, these are the people that now own our beloved Alamo Drafthouse. These people right here that think like this. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And the food wasn't that great. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. So, and I'm not going to Alamo expecting gourmet. I'm not expecting gourmet, but I'm expecting high quality bar food. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting high quality bar food. Like it's gonna be chicken strips, but at least with the clean grease. With the robust seasoning. Not, they're falling off. And they seem to be okay with it. They seem to be in free fall. And something else? Everybody that worked there seemed stressed out. It took 5 people to solve my problem that was very easy to solve. I can't be the first nigga to get up and switch seats. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the first one who ordered some food and somebody forgot to bring it. They act like they ain't even know where that shit was. Like, think about that. Somebody brought me my drink. I ordered everything at the same time. Somebody brought me my drink and forgot the food. The food should have been sitting somewhere.
We went yesterday, and whenever we went in there, you know how inside the theaters it's completely locked down. You can't get on your phone, so you have to be on their Wi-Fi. So I guess they just updated their whole server, so no one's Wi-Fi was working whenever you were in the theaters, and there was only like 5 minutes left. So there were people in droves trying to find people to be like, what the hell is going on? And everyone had to manually like reset their phone so that it would accept their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, guys, what's going on? This is real AMC behavior. I mean, like, bro, I've gone to AMC's where I order my food before I get there. Nobody made this shit. The machine's dirty. It ain't no paper cups. There's no hot dogs. For some reason, there's never any hot dogs ready. For whatever reason, it could be like a major premiere, much anticipated Batman Revenge, whatever. It could be a line right around the block. You get in, hot dogs? Oh, that's gonna be 15 minutes for hot dogs. Why, bitch? You should be running them motherfuckers through. What do you mean? There's no popcorn. There's no hot dog. What are y'all doing out here? You got one nigga here's a premiere. I expect that at AMC, not at the fucking Alamo. The Alamo, the Rolls Royce of movie theaters, not the Alamo. Because the only people I know that hate Alamo are people that grew up in Texas. Because I got a couple of friends where they're like, we're indie people. Alamo saying, I get it, but I'm just saying, as far as mainstream movie theaters go, Alamo was the top of the pile. That's not true. That's not true. Because you know what? Because I travel a lot. Alamo is just the top of the pile of the mainstream. Okay, I said mainstream, but there was a local theater in. Where the fuck was I? There are some regional joints, they're chains, but it's regional. There's some regional joints that give Alamo a run for his money. Damn, I can't remember. Is it Starlight? Star something? And it was somewhere in the Midwest. It might have been Minnesota. No, that wouldn't have been Minnesota. It might have been Michigan. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, I hoped, I don't know what I'm hoping. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Microsoft will buy Alamo. I don't know. Well, I don't know why Sony needs it. I don't know why they bought it. I don't know, were they struggling financially? I don't know.
Marcus Theaters?
Maybe.
Imogene Entertainment? B&B Theaters?
No.
NCG Cinemas?
Wait a minute. Well, why are you saying those?
Because I looked up regional movie chains in the Midwest.
No. Don't no. Like look up Alamo Drafthouse alternatives. I'm an expert Googler.
Flicks Brewhouse?
Flicks Brewhouse. Where is that?
It says doesn't give me a location.
Maybe it was IPIC.
Oh, iPix, yeah.
But where is that though?
It says Flicks Brewhouse. It says there's one in Round Rock, but I'm assuming. But actually, now that you say that, whenever I was looking up Sony, it says that a lot of the Alamos, that aren't in the Texas area, the ones that branched out, they're losing money and they're actually turning them into Flickses.
Oh, okay. Please, somebody take over this motherfucker or something.
So there's some hope, I guess.
Man, that used to be dope. And you know something else? The people that work there used to be happy. That, to me, that is the number. Like if you go anywhere, and the people working there are fucking happy to be there, you probably at a well-run business. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like you meet the one cheery bitch that love everything. I'm talking about like everyone is happy. Joyful. Yeah, you probably the world. And I remember Alamo used to be like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't pay this as well. I don't know. Maybe they just hiring different type of people. I don't know. Anyway, we digress. Man, we might not even have no time for no emails today.
And we're at about 32 minutes.
Some people love that. Some people hate emails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. There's so many.
Do you want to acknowledge that Artemis 2 was not an April Fool's joke?
I do have to do that. Correction. Artemis 2 was not an April Fool's joke. It's real. They're sending back pictures. They're observing a side of the moon that we haven't observed.
Right.
They're sending back pictures. Man, and I'm going to tell you something. They took a picture of the Earth on the way out. And the picture they took was from the dark side of Earth. So it was like an overexposure using like reflected light. And so they posted like a side by side of one of the Apollos and that picture. And the Apollo picture was taken during the day. So they didn't look the picture. So the colors were washed out.
Right. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And the comment section, the amount of people that were like, "Our planet looks sick." It's like, bitch, the planet's sick, true, but that's not what's being shown in the picture. It's just a different exposure. It's like like the comment section it reinforced my cynicism. I was like, we're doomed. We're doomed. The amount of people that thought that picture meant that like the Earth looked sicker because it was a darker. It was more of a slightly brownish hue to the picture because.
But also too that's the new one.
That's a new one, but the reason it was darker is because it was taken at night.
Right. Yeah.
It was taken from the night side of Earth.
Right.
And they used like longer exposures to.
They basically just used night photography, which anyone who knows photography, they know, that's
exactly. And then they didn't do any like processing the color correct because they could make it look. My point is, they could have made that picture look exactly, and it was taken from a different part of the. But they could have made that picture look exactly like the other one color wise, but they didn't. And so my point is, but You know, it reminds me of like, I don't know if you remember a few years back when there were a lot of people discovering that that there isn't medicine in prescription glasses. Like people thought there was like medicine in there. Right? And I know. There's some people watching this right now going, there's not? No, bitch. No, there isn't. No, they literally they cut the glass to bend the light in a way that your eye sees it correctly. There isn't any. There's no medication in the lens. You know what I mean? There's no. But I mean, I get it because if you don't know anything about, because they call it a prescription just like they call other medicine. So I guess you think.
I remember being confused like that as a youngling. Like
yeah, but a lot of things can be prescribed. It doesn't make them medicine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, somebody could prescribe you ass whooping.
They have medical attributes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's not chemicals. Is what I'm trying to say. There's not a chemical on the glass that's helping you see. It's literally just physics. But I'm sure most of the people listening to this knew that. Right? Or did you not know that? You started to scare me a little.
No, I knew that.
Okay. Well,
I knew that. I was laughing because you were having to explain it.
Well, I don't want people to feel left behind.
I get it.
But I am judging you. You were tagged in Mad Flavor. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uncle Joey was at the mothership last night. Gotta love that motherfucker, man. Okay. So let's get the page. Wandering one. Okay. Hello there once again. Okay, this is from April 2nd. Okay. Just wanted to throw a couple of things at you for the podcast and reference one of the latest episodes for a point of clarity. Now that Xbox is clearly in its death throes, I'm struggling with the notion of changing my choice of gaming consoles. PlayStation controllers irritate the fuck out of me. I know I could get a Scuff, but they're expensive as fuck, and the Switch 2 is an overpriced upgrade from the OG Switch in my opinion. You are absolutely wrong about that. So I've become curious about the new Steam machine. I imagine you have a gaming PC yourself, but if you didn't, would you consider this or would you wait and save for the big rig? You know what's funny? When they first announced the Steam machine, I was like, who is this for? It's for people like you. The big rig, because I have a big time gaming PC for sure, 5090, all that. But that's for, I don't need a console, is my point. I can, but it would be nice. Like this is certain games, like it's a game I'm playing right now called, like little twin stick shooters and stuff like that I necessarily wouldn't want to have to sit at my PC for. And a lot of times I'll just buy those on my Switch because I don't want to sit in my PC and play them. But there's like twin stick shooters and stuff like that I would like to play in that way. I don't know. I'm not going to get a Steam machine. I mean, I might, because like I said, there are games, there are things that I would, because I feel like a Steam machine is more supplemental to a gaming PC. You know what I mean? And it really depends on how much it costs. If a Steam machine is going to cost, if it's going to be in the thousands of dollars, because I don't know if they've said the price, but it's like you can go get a gaming laptop. I don't know. And the thing is, Xbox is not going away. It's just having a console is kind of pointless because you basically if you have a PC, you have an Xbox. You know what I mean? Because you can play it. So, and not that I use that. I still use Steam. I think most PC gamers use Steam for the most part. There's no game that I play that's on Xbox. I mean, maybe when I played Halo, I think you kind of had to have Xbox, the Xbox app. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you asking me, again, I would love for someone to make the argument for who the Steam machine is for. There seems to be a lot of people excited about it. So, maybe somebody could explain it to me, but I don't see, I would not buy one of those, but I might buy one. I still won't buy one, yeah. But I don't need one of those. Like if it was me and I had to choose between the two, of course I'm getting a big time PC, But it would be nice because there are some games that are co-op, like the little cutesy type of party games and stuff like that. I think having a Steam machine in the living room would be or something, you know. All right, second, this is a two-parter. Okay, if you had to, three-parter. If you had to tell someone that they smelled bad, body odor, bad breath, funky clothing, etc., how would you do it? I've asked my people about it, and I'm collecting data on how others do it. It's not a problem for me because I have a very sensitive nose and a big fucking mouth and very little patience for dirty, stink-ass people, but I wanted to take your take on it. Damn, this seems personal to you. I mean, it would depend. You know, if I cared about the person, if I didn't care about the person, I wouldn't say anything. You know, unless it was something where it was like I'm captive and I got to deal with it, and even then, depending on if it was something they could do about it. You know what I mean? But if I cared about the person, I would just put them to the side. Hey, bro, like I don't know what's going on, but like you smell bad. You know, I don't know if anybody put you to the side. Yo, you smell weird. What's going on? You know what I mean? If I was close with the person. You know. All right, number 3. In episode 158, South by Southwest, Jonestown, and Unk Gamers, a man who called himself E said his new lady, who had 2 children from another man who was taking care of them, told him she was pregnant, but their political differences were giving him pause, especially with the thought of marriage coming toward them. At 47 minutes and 40 seconds,
Thank you.
He says, nothing ever materialized. 13 years later, unquote. I believe during the episode, you and your producer, sorry, can't recall his name.
Colt,
guys. I believe during the episode, you and your producer, Colt, were operating under the assumption that he and this girl were with each other for 13 years. With that idea in mind, you advised him to stick it out and work it out with therapy. Did I? That doesn't sound like something I would say. However, he had only recently started dating her. They had been out of touch for over a decade. Oh, and he even said he's just a nigga they live with and that he doesn't have a true parental role in the lives of those other kids. In light of this new information, would you reconsider the advice? I personally would say that he should take the same track as the first baby daddy did and have a happy life separate from this girl. When political or religious ideologies clash, you're on some fundamentally shaky ground for a relationship. This isn't she likes Coke, I like Pepsi, or she wants to paint the living room orange and I hate the color. These issues shape their thinking and their outlook on the world, including how kids are raised, how finances are handled, and so forth. Just my 2 cents as a married guy. As usual, thanks for all the laughs and for the killer podcast. And just because you wore me down, keep it tight, Beaver Puss. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, LOL. Well, you didn't say it, you wrote it. But yes, you keep it tight too, brother. Yes, I think I would change my advice if I'd known that they had just started dating. I mean, but why you busting it? We got to stop busting in people. Did y'all know that there's a new syphilis? Did you see this?
No.
Up in the Northwest, there was a guy, and I believe, I could be a little wrong about this, but I'm mostly right. The guy, he had 2 syphilises at once. He had multiple syphilisi. He had 2 different strains of syphilis at the same time, and then they exchanged, genes. And there's a word for that. What's the word for when 2 strains of a disease exchange genes in a host? Genetic recombination.
Does not sound good. It says that they have redesignated this new strain of syphilis as NYMCO1.
Yeah. That shit, and this shit ain't no joke out here. So, I mean, you busting raw and people you just met is wild. That's wild out here, bruh. You like shit ain't sweet out here right now. So anyway, yeah, I think I would change my advice. I would have to go back and read that email. But let me tell you something. I appreciate you even putting out the details, giving us the timestamp. All of that shit is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Keep it tight, Beaver Puss.
An example emailer right there.
What's tight, Beaver Puss? In episode, wait a minute, what's tight, Beaver Puss? Okay, do your own thing. In episode 159 at 29 minutes and 58 seconds. Oh my God, everyone's doing it.
Thank you.
You stated cash businesses aren't on the up and up. And now every laundromat, psychic, and smoke shop is a front. Well, did I say every? Not every single one, but a lot of them are. and how I've always had that suspicion. And here's a few more I would wholeheartedly believe, even though I have zero proof. Arby's is laundering money. You know what? I think someone else told me that.
I think we did. I think we talked about it on the pod.
Yeah.
We did.
Ain't no way they bought Buffalo Wild Wings for $1 billion selling meat that looks like it was printed on a fax machine. I don't know a single human who eats there. I've never ever seen a car in the parking lot. You know what? You right, bro. I've never seen anybody eat Arby's. I've seen people in an Arby's randomly, like at a truck stop or something.
Have you had Arby's?
I've had Arby's like once or twice in my whole life.
Okay.
But I don't remember. And it was good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And you know what's funny is like I didn't get the beef. I got the chicken salad.
Oh, yeah.
But it was good.
Their gyros aren't too bad.
You know, Arby's is the reason I was like, I'm okay with grapes in my chicken salad. I did not know it would be busting like that. It is though. Like it's a running joke we get on white people for putting fruit in potato salad. It be hitting though. It do. You put some for real. You put some red grapes in the potatoes. I don't know why, but it be it. You know. Anyway, yeah. But for real, I've never been in. I've seen people show up with Popeyes. I've seen people walk in with a bucket of chicken. I've seen people show up with a bag of McDonald's. I've never seen anyone show up at Arby's. I've never seen anyone go, yeah, I ate at Arby's today. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on with Arby's. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you onto something here. Number 2, mattress stores. Oh, also laundering money. Got to be. There's always 3 of them on the same street. Nobody buys mattresses that often. Facts. You get one mattress and you ride that thing into the afterlife. Well, no, that's not. That's what poor people do. I mean, listen. I'm 43 years old. I've bought 3 mattresses in my whole life. So you're right. It's not often, but we do replace mattresses out here. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. How often are you changing your pillows? Because that's another thing. Every 6 months is what you're supposed to do. Right? Same with your toothbrush, right? Every 6 months. No one does that, but you should be. That should be what you're aiming for. You know. All right. Anyway. Something ain't right. I got nothing against it, but if true, I want to own a mattress store. Okay, number 3, Spirit Airlines is a government stress experiment. I'm convinced FEMA uses them to calculate the breaking point of the American spirit. Seats don't recline. Boarding feels like a prison intake. They charge you if you try to have hope. This guy's funny. I like this person. Number 4, Waffle House is actually FEMA's Tier 1 response unit. You ever notice how they open before the police, firefighters, or Jesus show up? Hurricanes hit, and Waffle House is like, generators ready. How many hash browns you want? They know things, man. What about you? You got any of these? The little something ain't right theories that live rent-free in your head. Simplify, smart. Okay, so first of all, Waffle House is actually FEMA. They use whether or not Waffle House is open as some sort of barometer for whether things are better.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard that.
Mm-hmm. So, but there are Waffle Houses out here, but they aren't that popular here.
Yeah, not really. Not in Texas.
I think there's 2 Waffle Houses in Austin, maybe 3.
Maybe.
And again, I never see nobody there.
No,
it ain't like it is other places.
Now you go to Louisiana, different story. Yeah. Alabama, different story.
Yeah. I mean, you go to Louisiana, Alabama, you might still find some of them like cafeterias. You know that? You from the South?
No, Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cafeterias used to be huge. Like public cafeteria, they were businesses, but it was like, I don't even know.
You mean you're talking like a Golden Corral type deal or?
That's more like a buffet.
Yeah.
Like yes and no.
Do you pay on the way in or you pay on the way out?
You pay on the way in.
On the way in. And then just whatever you want in there, get as much you want.
Or maybe you get 2 or 3 of certain stations or whatever, But there's still a handful of them, Anyway, yeah. What else do I think is a front? I told you the psychics, a lot of the smoke shops.
I've seen some Chinese restaurants that seem a little way too big for the type of food that they're putting out.
Yeah, I would really have to think about this one, but quite often I see places where I'm like, how's that place open? You know what's funny? There was another place on Sunset Boulevard. There's a fucking it's a little further up. It was beside the Pink Dot. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a Pink Dot up the street from the Comedy Store. And there's a fucking, I don't know what you would call it, a haberdashery right there. Like they sell like leather, like boots and cowboy hats and stuff.
Men's accessories kind of stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I want to say, I think they only sell cowboy hats or only sell cowboy boots. But I'm like, how the fuck is this place open? Like it's one of those places, like I never see anybody going in there. And how many people need cowboy boots in Los Angeles? You know what I mean? It's one of those weird things where it's like, that's something that like a store also sells. It's not a whole store in LA. No. Yeah. But Hollywood, but there it is. There it is. And again, I've never seen anybody go in there.
Or just like one pair of boots or one hat costs enough to like keep their lights on for 2 months.
No, bro. In fact, no. Here's the rub. I've never seen anybody in there. I've never even seen anyone running that motherfucker. And it's on Sunset Boulevard. That was the same thing with the sake place. It was on Sunset Boulevard. You never see anybody in that bitch. So, I know a front when I see one. Apparently the police don't. But that was a grade A email. Excellent email. I wish I could give you two snaps. Snap your puss. I don't know what to say. All right. Yo, Brian, what's the temperature on Crimson Desert? I'm conflicted because I think this game is truly fucking insanely good when it comes to the open world and the content within it. But on the other hand, the criticism is kind of valid. Like the controls feeling foreign and the unnecessarily complex systems where you have to open 3 different menus to perform an action. The type of shit is annoying, but they fixed most of that in the first week. How are you feeling about the game? And what things have you run into that you'd like to see change? P.S. Also, quick thoughts on Deadlock if you have time. I just got access. Well, first of all, I got over 1,000 hours in Deadlock, so I'm locked in on Deadlock. Deadlock is excellent. Deadlock is okay. Wait a minute. First of all, let me answer your Crimson Desert questions. I played Crimson Desert for like a day, but the fact that you couldn't remap the controls, they lost me. So it's still on it's still taking up space on my hard drive. I haven't deleted it. I might come back to it, but the time they had to capture me, that's gone. Right now, I'm playing a lot of Deadlock. I'm playing. I played the expansion to Borderlands 4. Blah. The new character's dope. The expansion's trash. And I'm playing this other game that it's early access by the makers of Done Greed. I forget the name of it, but it's awesome. Action roguelike. I play a lot of roguelikes. But Deadlock is going to take over when it finally come out. Deadlock is the shit. And the Street Brawl makes it even better because you can play it real quick, even though it's not all that quick, honestly, sometimes. And then they're talking about adding another roguelike mode or PvE mode. Deadlock's amazing, even though sometimes I think the devs make some questions. I hate it whenever the Deadlock is awesome in almost every way, but they just do events terribly. Like whenever there's a Christmas or I hate that. I hate it when games do that. When it's Christmas or Halloween or Easter or April Fools and they all decide they got to be in on it. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't need you. I didn't come here to be fooled. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be Christmas in my game. I don't want it to be, because this happens every year. The holidays take over the game. It's Christmas on Pornhub. It's Christmas on the radio. It's Christmas on TV. It's Christmas in the video game. It's like, and I can't escape. I'm trying to escape from the real world. I don't need it to be Christmas in there. And I definitely don't need you to do where it affects how you play the game. It was one thing if it was just visual, but like this past year, Deadlock would like, they go add a challenge where it's like, okay, well now instead of your regular ability, you throw in the candy cane. And it's like, why? Now everybody has these candy canes and it completely changes. Like this past year, just now for April Fools, they did a thing where it's like for a whole day, because there's no duplicate characters. You can only one version of each character in each match, right? But on April Fools, they made it so that limit's gone. So it'd be 5 of the same person or 10 of the same person in the same match, which is funny for like one match. But it was like the whole day, it just irritates me. Some people loved it. I don't see the point in it. Because it's a play test, you don't get any data. No one was asking for it. But just some developer decided, wouldn't it be funny if? And I don't like that. it all traces back to, I'll never forget coming home, and this is dating me a little bit, but coming home from school one day, Cartoon Network. This was back when Cartoon Network was like the lifeline. Cartoons 24/7. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Come home from school, getting ready to watch Cartoon Network, but it's April Fool's, and actually, it wasn't school. It wasn't a school day. This is what was crazy. It was a weekend. I want to say it was a weekend, but it was like I remember being like ready to watch cartoons all day. I think it was a weekend, and they played the same cartoon the whole day.
Same episode?
The same episode. It was like the same little like 5-minute short cartoon. It played all day long, and it didn't stop at midnight. It played 24 hours.
Matrix was broken.
No, they did it as April Fools.
Fuck.
And that really pissed me off. That colored my whole view of April, because I was a kid and it was like, I think I was prepared to watch cartoons the whole fucking day, and the whole day they decided to prank us. You know, it's like, okay, well, who's laughing at that? Because they had like the kids was at home going, get back up in 4 hours, turn on their favorite channel. It's still the same. No, everyone was like, what the fuck is this? You know, because even the people that thought it was funny, eventually they stopped thinking it was funny.
There's no way that parents were happy about that either. It's like, oh, now I gotta,
I mean, the parents I was
hang out with my kid now.
The parents I was living with at the time did not. I wonder if people remember that. Hold on. Cartoon played the same cartoon for 24 hours. Okay, yeah, April Fool's 1997. They played the same Screwy Squirrel cartoon from 1944.
Oh my God.
For 12 hours. For 12 hours straight. The gag known as Screwy Squirrel Day was a prank that made it appear as though the character had taken over the channel. Wait a minute, I don't remember. It was a prank to startle viewers and prank cable providers who thought the station was having technical difficulties. Yeah, okay, so what was the purpose? Who thought that? Think about that. Why would you do that? You're pranking everyone. That's not a prank. It's just irritating. You know what it is to me? It's like
turning somebody's Wi-Fi off and being like, isn't that a fun prank?
Yeah, but it's like, to me, and I complain about this all the time when it comes to video games, is when people don't know how to be creative, because that's the problem. The industry is full of a lot of people that aren't that creative. So then they go for a feeling instead of, so in this case, it's like, people that don't know how to do pranks for real, they think they can just be irritating, and that's the same thing. You know?
Yes.
And it's not. A prank is when it's all over, we all have a good laugh about it.
It's also where like you have people that are funny and they're roasting each other, and then someone who's not funny roasts somebody, but it's just mean and hurtful.
Right. And so, this wasn't funny to anyone except whoever did it. That's not a prank.
Yeah, you're kind of just being mean to kids.
Yeah, like when you prank people and you're the only one laughing, it's not a prank. It's like, oh yeah, Google, let's ruin this. And I want to say, what day of the week was that? Hey Google, what day of the week was April 1st, 1997?
April 1st, 1997 was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday, huh? Well, that just goes to show how your trauma distorts your memory. Yeah, but let's just ruin a bunch of children's afternoons. Let's just ruin a bunch of kids' day.
I didn't know Sony bought Cartoon Network.
Damn, is Sony connected to everything that's ruined right now? Sony bought Cartoon Network?
No, I'm just fucking around.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fucking around.
Okay, you were making a joke.
That was an attempt at humor, and I'm really sorry, everybody.
Yeah, you got to stop that.
I apologize.
Okay. But I forget what question he was asking me. Oh yeah, no, but Deadlock's great. that was your question. Oh man, we got a lot of emails. I think this is gonna be the last one. We'll pick the rest up next week. Okay. That's really long. No, let's save this one.
Yeah.
Let's save this. That's a long as email. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. But let me make sure I save this. Mark this as unread. All right, guys. Thanks for all your questions, comments, concerns. If you want advice from the Advice Champ, email me at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com. By the time you see this, I'll be back from Oregon and on my way to Baltimore. I'm coming down to Baltimore. It's gonna be lit. Baltimore is April 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then I'll be in San Jose on the 23rd of April. Get your tickets now at briansimpsoncomedy.com. Get them tickets right now at briansimpsoncomedy.com. If you want any questions, comments, concerns, you want advice from the Advice Champ, email me at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com. All right. Keep it tight, Beaver Puss.